Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about Barbara, the Shining Idol. So let's get started. All of the information is provided by the Genshin Impact Wiki fandom. Barbara is a playable Hydro character in Genshin Impact. She is received for free in the Baptism of Song event for completing the quest A Long Shot during the Prologue Act 3 Song of the Dragon and Freedom. She is the daughter of Frederica Gunhilder and Simon Page, and the younger sister of Jean. Barbara is the deaconess of the Church of Favonius and self-proclaimed idol after learning about them from the interpreted adventurer Alice. Her full name is Barbara Page. She is a female character. Her birthday is July 5th and her constellation is the Crater. Her nation is Mondstadt and she's affiliated with the Church of Favonius. Her special dish and favorite food is spicy stew. She was released as a playable character on September 28, 2020. Barbara's element is Hydro and her weapon is a catalyst. Barbara goes by two titles, Shining Idol, and Decountess. Barbara is a charismatic individual who does her best to spread joy all around. The mere sight of her alone can boost people's spirits. She has a bright and optimistic from a young age. A bit of being a bit clumsy at times, regardless, she was able to quickly recover and jump back up into it. Barbara is a hard worker, but can be hard on herself at times. However successful she may seem to others, she shares her own mixed feelings on her achievements. Barbara will become somewhat disillusionative and doubtful when pouring about how long a smile lasts on someone's face after listening to her song. Barbara has a bit of an inferiority complex when it comes to her older sister, wanting to suppress her in at least one thing, whether it's in popularity or grades. Even now, she continues to repress these feelings. Regardless, she uncannily loves her just as much. Her craving for recognition switched over into a mere desire to help people. Even with all her depressing thoughts, she quickly jumps back to her feet, dispelling herself to be depressed for more than 30 seconds. Barbara continues to serve for excellence, believing she'll be able to help her sister. Barbara has a small, petite build with ash blonde hair, tied in pigtails, and blue eyes. She wears a white frock that is opened up at the shoulders with blue frills, gold lining, and a large white and blue bow with a gold cross in the front, along with white tights. Black frocks with block heels, a blue and white cap resembling a nurse's cap with a gold cross on the front. Her right thighs have a faint flower with a polka-dotted pattern, and her flats have blue cuffs attached above the ankles. Her vision is attached to a golden adorned spellbook with a blue cover, and a small cross charm hangs on its side, attached to a black strap held together with a gold loop. Whisper of Water is a normal charge attack performed by Barbara. The normal attack can perform up to 4 water splash attacks that deal hydro damage. A charge attack can consume a certain amount of stamina, deal AoE damage in Hydro after a short casting time, and the plummeting attack can gather the might of Hydro. Barbara plummetes towards the ground from mid-air, damaging all opponents in her path, deals AoE Hydro damage upon impact with the ground. Let the show begin is Barbara's elemental skill. It summons water couplets resembling musical notes that form a melody loop, dealing hydro damage to surrounding opponents and afflicting them with the wet status. Melody Loop has 4 abilities. Barbara's normal attack heals your characters in your party and nearby ally characters for a certain amount of HP, which scales with Barbara's max HP. Her charge attack can generate 4 times the amount of healing. Regenerates a certain amount of HP, a regular individual for your active character, and it can apply the wet status to the character and opponents who come in contact with them. Shining Miracle is Barbara's elemental burst. It heals nearby allied characters and your characters in your party for a large amount of HP that scales with Barbara's max HP. Glorious Season is Barbara's passive talent 1. The stamina consummation of a character's within Let the Show Begin Melody Loop is reduced by 12%. Encore is Barbara's passive talent 2. When you activate character gains an elemental orb particle, the duration of Let the Show Begin Melody Loop is extended by 1 second. The maximum extension is 5 seconds. With My Whole Heart is Barbara's passive talent 3. When a perfect cooking is achieved on a dish with resourceful effects, Barbara has a 12% chance of attaining a double the product. Barbara is the decantress of the Church of Favonius, as well as the shining idol of Mondstadt. The sight of Barbara makes all my problems disappear. This is quite a common saying among the citizens of Mondstadt. In fact, Barbara can do much more than just put people in a better mood. Her healing powers extend to flesh wounds and other physical ailments. Barbara is known to have access to miraculous healing powers through her hydro vision. However, Barbara herself knows that her hard work is the most miraculous magic of all. Every denizen of Mondstadt adores Barbara. However, this has not always been the case. At first, Barbara's songs sounded strange to the denizens of Mondstadt, and many struggled to see the appeal. This was because, for the longest time, the folk songs of bards were the only popular songs known in Mondstadt. Fortunately, Mondstadt stayed true to its reputation as the city of freedom, and the people immediately embraced the new while continuing to cherish the old. People accepted Barbara's songs, and over time, her positive energy rippled off on them. Soon, they could hear humming her tunes all around Mondstadt. Albert, will you stop, please? You're completely out of tune. Barbara's feelings on her own success are mixed. To the extent that an idol's duty to make everyone adore her, she had done a fantastic job. There is no doubting that she has made the right choice. However, an idol is also expected to spread joy and relieve people's spiritual fatigue. Had she really accomplished that? She sang for blind Glory, encouraging her to believe that her lover would one day return. She sang too for sick Anna, promising her that her illness would one day be cured. Yet the smiles on their faces never last long after the song's end. This had led Barbara to become somewhat disillusioned and doubtful. Barbara has always been a bright and optimistic girl since her youth. Though at times she is a bit clumsy and can mess things up, she always becomes right back and jumps back on her feet. Barbara is a complete opposite from her sister. The pride of the family, her sister always been a very different of success in all aspects, unlike Barbara. Actually, all Barbara ever wanted was to suppress her sister in at least one thing, even if only once. However, be it swordplay, her grades, or any else, she was never able to compare. Even from someone as optimistic as her, she found herself to be upset and down. Hard work is the most miraculous magic, but what if even that doesn't work? Life in the Knights of Favonius was not easy for Amber in the beginning. Being as young as she was, and having just lived through a trauma of losing her grandpa, the senior knights made the point of taking care of her. However, for the girl, as despite the excel as she was, being taken care of by others implied that she wasn't yet matured enough to stand on her own 2 feet. Accordingly, she voraciously sought out extra responsibilities and made this as valuable as possible to her seniors. Finally, during an intense engagement with some monsters, the seniors noticed her bravery and resourcefulness in the heat of battle. That was the moment they realized their little girl was growing up. As she matured, she also became more at ease with herself. Whatever fed back she was met with, but in praise, rebuke, silence, or taunting, her responsibility was the same. For sure, I may still have a way to go before I catch up with my seniors, but one day I'm gonna be the best outrider ever. Amber is not fond too much deliberation, preferring instead to seek her mind truthfully and frankly at every occasion. She firmly believes that she will not disappoint her grandpa. Today, Amber is still a firecracker. She always was, burning with endless passion and energy. Now that she's all grown up, Amber holds firm to her grandpa's teachings as she spreads her wind glider wings and watches over the city of freedom with an eye of an eagle and the purring of the bunny rabbit. The Crimson Knight is known throughout Mondstadt. The people are delighted to see the malicious little girl they remember growing up to be a guardian they can rely on. Never fear, Outrider Amber is here. Her self-conflict is simply unshakable. I am Outrider Amber, the one and only Outrider, which makes me the best there under is. Idol? The first time Barbara heard these strange words, she was visibly confused. But aren't the 7 the ones that people are supposed to worship? Yes, but not exactly, replied Alice, an elder of the Hexendrical, as she gloomed the young girl for stardom. Read this. It contains everything you'll need to know. Idol magazine was the name of the addressed reading material. Barbara had no idea what world this magazine had come from, but by reading it, she found out that there was indeed such a thing as an idol, and that it mainly involves working hard at getting everyone to like you. She also discovered that an outstanding idol is capable of one not just being joy to themselves, but also brings spiritual healing to others through the power of song and dance. Barbara set about learning one new song after another, dancing to the beat as she went. Finally, she found happiness, and she found it in the smiling faces of others. Sometime later, when Alice externally related to Barbara that the plans of Tevat idols were failing, though, Barbara was starting to make a name for herself through her performances in Mondstadt. Well, if the only one left, I guess you can leave it to me to define what it really means to be an idol. Driven by this ever so slightly selfish ambition to spread joy and healing to others, Barbara is shyly swatting up to new tunes behind the scenes to this very day. The story of how Barbara attained her vision is hardly a typical tale of high-stakes terrorism. She had just joined the church and was looking after a little boy with a high and persistent fever. Nothing Barbara could think of would counsel the boy and bring an end to his relentless tears. Someone remarked that while the boy had already taken his medicine, there was no way to cure the pain of missing one's family. Another suggested that Barbara sing a song for the boy to raise his spirits. Barbara had never sung a song in her life up until this point, but how could she shy away from it in a moment like this? Never having sung before is no reason to abandon a child during time of need, Barbara thought to herself. And so, Barbara took the boy in her arms and sang him a lullaby, the only song she knew. It was an unceremonious beginning of her singing career. After realizing that she barely knew some of the words, she resorted to humming the tune instead. Nevertheless, her voice began to smoothen the child, and she kept singing. She sang the song over and over again, until her throat was dry and her voice was hoarse. Finally, the boy fell asleep. Exhausted, Barbara lay down on the wall and fell straight asleep herself. Early the next morning, Barbara awoke to discover the boy's fever had came down. Perhaps it was because she had sung for him. Or perhaps it had something to do with the vision which had mysteriously appeared next to her, and at some point of time during the night. Barbara was not preoccupied with the vision. However, it was the sight of the boy smiling once again that filled her heart with joy. Barbara received her vision for a simple but beautiful wish that took hold in her heart that night. A dream of healing the sick through the power of song. Fact 1. Barbara and Jean are sisters. However, when their parents separated, Jean stayed with her mother, and Barbara went with her father. Fact 2. Barbara's favorite food is spicy dried fish, while her least favorite food are anything that's bitter. Fact 3. Barbara's love for spicy food is renewed throughout Mondstadt, though according to Vale, Julian chili is spicy enough to make her cry. Fact 4. Other similarities they share are the love of spicy foods, as well as being musicians who have assumed their own fan bases despite performing songs that defied their country's traditional forms of music. The given name Barbara is derived from the Latin word of barbaris, meaning foreign and strange. Barbara's constellation crater is Latin for basin. Now we have reached the ending of Barbara's story. I hope you enjoyed. The next Genshin Impact edition is Bennett. Hope you see you then soon. Silverchan signing out.